All right, so today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different here. We're just going to be working on some data structures and algorithms type problems on LeetCode over here. So just in all fair warning, I'm not great at this stuff. So yeah, but what better way to practice than just by doing some? So we got our easy difficulty going here. We're on LeetCode, and we're just going to choose something here. I've done some of these. I don't have an account, so I can't get into any of these. So let's go through and pick one from here. What about this? How many numbers are smaller? Let's see what this one's about. All right, so how many numbers are smaller than the current number? Seems fairly straightforward. Given the array nums for each nums of I, so each item in the array, find out how many numbers in that array are smaller than it. That is, for each nums of I, you have to count the number of valid j's such that j does not equal I, and the nums at j is less than the nums at I. Okay, so let's take a look at this example down here. We got an array, and then we want to see the corresponding numbers. Okay, so 8 is our first one. So we want to check how many numbers 8 is gonna be larger than. So 8 is going to be larger than 1, it's going to be larger than 2, it's going to be larger than this 2, and it's going to be larger than 3. So 4 total. 1 is larger than none of these, so 0, and so forth. All right, so that seems fairly straightforward. Let's kind of go ahead and see what we can do here. So we know we're going to have a for loop. I think we're going to have a nested, 2 nested loops here. Which isn't the best time complexity, but I don't know of another way off the top of my head to do that. So let's start. We're gonna need an array here. So we'll say let r, and this is gonna be our final array. So we'll set that to an empty array like that. And then we're gonna have to keep count here. So let's have a count variable, and that's gonna be equal to 0. And that's going to be in order to keep the count of each of these before we push it into our array. So we'll have that. Then we'll just have the typical for loop. So for let I equal to 0, I is less than nums.length, like this, and then I plus plus. All right. And then inside this for loop here, we're going to have another loop. So to get the jth element, so for let j equal to 0, j is less than nums.length, same thing, and then j plus plus, just like this. Okay, and now in here, this is where we're going to compare our two numbers. So we can go do an if statement, and we'll go nums. So we want to see if the nums at I, okay, if that is greater than our nums at j here. So if that's true, again, that's just going to be if our first number is greater than our second number here. And as we go through, then we can increment our count. So we can go count plus plus like that. And then I think that's all we really need to do for that. And then we want to come down, make sure we're outside of this if statement and outside of this first, we got to be outside this second loop as well. So that would be here. So outside of this, and then we can push the count onto the array. So we can go r.push like this, and we will say count like that. And now we actually have to reset the count back to 0, because otherwise we will not get the correct count. It'll just continuously add on. So we got to go say count is equal to 0 after this, after we push the item onto the count. Okay, so then after that, we can return the array. And hopefully that works. Array, it seems, yeah, we'll see. Let's try it out. So we'll run our code. And that got accepted, so we're getting the right thing. And if we submit this, okay, that looks, and it looks like it ran fairly fast. So I guess that maybe is the only way with the nested loops there. All right, so that's that. I think I might be doing a few more of this kind of data structures and algorithms, trying to get a little bit better at this stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching.